Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Charlie Chan in Reno, 1939. I got the year wrong. My last review. I kept saying 1936 because I got mixed up. The Berlin Summer Olympics was in 1936. So I just assumed that the movie was in 1936, but actually it was 1937. So this is a couple years after Warner Arlen did the big one. And it's got number 2 son again. He's got an interesting girlfriend named Iris Wong. I showed her to my son. She speaks some kind of mixture of Cantonese, Taiwan, and Japanese. Some kind of really fast gibberish. And we're supposed to believe that it's an actual Chinese dialect. But whatever. They just get Key Luke or Iris Wong to go. And that's supposed to be Chinese. Anyways, they did a lot of bonus features on Reno during the 20s and 30s and 40s. I guess Reno was the capital of the divorced people. People would go there for 6 weeks, get a quickie divorce, and stay the whole time on a dude ranch or a boarding house. And the bonus features kind of threw me off because I thought it spoiled the killer, but actually the killer was somebody else. A lot of familiar faces in this one. I put all the it's got Eddie Collins for comic relief, and then it's got the dude from All Quiet on the Western Front, 1930, I think, was that film. He's some comic relief Keystone Cop sheriff. So so this lady's going to Reno to get divorced, and Eddie Collins from Charlie Chan in Honolulu. He's back this time as a taxi driver. His big stick is to spit outside the driver's window of this Model T taxi. So that's his main thing. He loves to talk about how he's making money off of divorce in the midst of the Great Depression, which was really an economic crisis exacerbated by FDR's communist policies. His New Deal made the Great Depression even longer than should have been. But most mainstream historians think he's the greatest president ever because he ushered in U.S. brand communist programs. But anyways, that's a little background in the Reno situation. So this lady's driving the cab with Eddie Collins. He's talking about how he's surviving in the midst of other people's misery. Quite literally, during the Great Depression, people went to Reno to get divorced in 6 weeks. Stayed on the dude ranch or the boarding house. So she's not interested. She's not saying anything. She's probably still in shock from the divorce that she's in. But everybody seems to think that she's some kind of killer. And, so she's caught with a dead body. She's presumed to be the murderer in some hotel where this the divorcees stay, and they got some kind of social counselor or something in the hotel to assess their divorce situation, presumably help them along or something. And she doesn't want anything to do with it, but she gets invited to the bar where this lady brags that he's stealing her husband or something. And so she's disgusted, and the murder happens. She just happens to be in the room. She's charged with the murder, but her husband goes to Charlie Chan to go spring her out, and then number two son is cooking up some kind of a concoction. It's like a forensic chemical to detect fingerprints in some kind of material. I couldn't really understand, but the thing explodes. He borrows his friend's car. Then he proceeds to get thrown off the road and hijacked. So he ends up, I guess he walks or hitchhikes to Reno to meet his father. And then he falls in love with the Chinese maid, Iris Wong. She looked like she shaved her eyelashes and then colored them in or something. She's got the 40s hairdo and the 40s dress. But this one's 1939. So number two son's causing a lot of trouble. He's pretending to smoke cigarettes, but he's kind of young for that. And the burn in the carpet, he thinks he made the burn in the carpet, but actually it was some kind of an acid that the doctor, the local doctor, was supplying. So he's in on it somehow. You don't know who the real killer is until the end, when Charlie Chan brings everybody in the room with the same clothes on. And pretty clever ending. I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. Charlie Chan goes to the spook town, and he finds the victim's husband there, some kind of prospector or something. They get into a scuffle, and the Keystone Cop sheriff and the taxi driver just let him get away. The police chase after him, but they bring him in the room for the final showdown between Charlie Chan and the prospective murder suspects. Pretty cool stuff. It gets a very high 7.1. Charlie Chan and 7.1 out of 10. 1,298 ratings. Still pretty high, not as high as the Warner Ireland. I think Warner Ireland is more popular than Sidney Toler. He's not doesn't really bother me. I think he does a decent job in all his makeup. all of the murder suspects had motives. That was kind of interesting. It's hard to tell who the real killer is. It's very complex and complicated. But this one really exceeded my expectations. I'm about done with Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women, which uses the exact same Soviet sci-fi footage as Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet. But instead of Basil Rathbone, you get Mamie Van Horn. I met her when she was in her 80s, I think. And her husband got jealous. I think I told that story before. Up in Santa Rosa wine country, she was marketing her wine label. And yeah, I was having a rough night. But anyways, I'm going to finish up watching Voyage to the Planet of the Prehistoric Women. Just got Mamie Van Horn. Additional scenes with Mamie Van Horn and a bunch of other blondies with the clam seashell. And they're walking around the rocks. And weird flick, but pretty cool. Directed by Peter Bogdanovich. He was working for AIP back in 1968, I think. I'm up to the 1968s in my AIP list. So I don't remember what other AIP I've got. But I can give you an idea of what's coming next week. I'm going to return these 2 discs, so I should have 1 disc on Tuesday and 2 discs on Wednesday. If the post office is fast, if the old lady upstairs doesn't take my Netflix DVDs. So looking at my Netflix view, give you an idea of what's coming down the pike. Man, this is slow. It's taking so long. Oh, I got like 2,000 movies on here. That's what's taking long. Maybe I think I'll wait for it to pop up. Here we go. Here it goes. So Charlie Chan in Reno gets 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, finally let me rate Charlie Chan in Reno on Netflix. I've got Cape Fear, the 1962 with Gregory Peck. That's been on my queue. Very long wait for months. Same with Fallen Angel, 1945. But next week I should be getting Charlie Chan at the Opera. I think that's with Boris Karloff, if I'm not mistaken. And then Castle in the Desert, 1942, with Sidney Toler. And then Meeting at Midnight with Sidney Toler, 1944. So that's what I've got in terms of Netflix. Now with my other list here, movies to watch. I've got Voyage to the Planet of Prehistoric Women. About to finish that. I'll get my third review in for today. I'm doing pretty good. I might take one more nap before I watch Drive-In Massacre, which is an Adrian recommendation. Then I got Carnage, another Adrian recommendation. The Untold Story, which I mentioned in my Dr. Lamb review, and then Nosa Genre confirmed what Boogeyman already said, namely that the old Untold Story was way better than Dr. Lamb, which I find hard to believe. Then I've got Mary Jane, a drugsploitation AIP movie from 1968. So that gives you an idea what I've got coming down. How am I? Well, I've got Shepem in the chat room now. Cool, I've got 2 people in my chat room. I'm a little tired. I worked about 65 hours almost this week. So I'm trying to rest, take a little naps in between movies. I got 2 movie reviews in, 2 Netflix DVDs here. They're all wrapped up and ready to go in the mailbox for some more Charlie Chan next week. And then I'm going to finish up my AIP Mamie Van Horen movie from 1968. I'll review that shortly, so I'll be back. That's the end of my review. Highly recommended. Check it out later.